Hello everyone. Last Friday, Trump signed the proclamation to increase the H1B Visa fee like crazy. In addition, following the last week trade talk in India, this upcoming week we have the next scheduled India-US trade talks in US. So for sure, these two will impact our Indian market. And there are some important global macros like PMI data, US GDP growth rate and the PC inflation. These are the things I expect to influence the global momentum and Indian market this upcoming week. So let's discuss about all a week ahead video for September 4th week 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. First, starting with Trump's executive order. Last Friday night, Trump signed the proclamation that for all new H1B visa applications, the companies has to pay a massive $1 lakh fee to the US government, which on Indian rupee is equivalent to 88 lakh rupees. Close to 1 crore rupees just for a single visa application. And this rule is applicable from today, September 21 onwards. I think most of the viewers already know about it since all the mainstream media and YouTubers have been discussing about it over the last 2 days. So I don't want to go into detail, but for me, clearly it looks like this rule is targeted on Indians, particularly to put pressure on the Indian government. The strange part is that this rule is not applicable to people already inside the US who are already in the H1B visa. So as long as they stay, they don't pay any, but the moment they leave the US for vacation or to visit the family, then they have to pay this massive fee to enter back into US. And of course, for any new application, the company has to pay upfront. Hence, because of all those reasons, IT companies and tech companies have requested their H1B visa employees to avoid the international travel for now. And I saw in the news that many who had traveled to India to visit family are now rushing back to the US, which is very sad and unfair. On top of that, airlines are exploiting the situation, increasing ticket prices from around 40,000 rupees to almost 80,000 rupees for one way. Just to give a perspective, at present TCS alone has about 45,000 employees on H1B visa in the US. Infosys has about 25,000 and HCL around 20,000. Anyway, my emotions aside, let's discuss what's in control and its impact. In the proclamation, it was mentioned that there is an exemption for the critical industries like technology, healthcare and engineering. So last year's data shows near 70 to 80% of all H1B approvals were actually in sectors that the US itself considers critical. Hence, if US Department of Homeland Security interprets this exemption broadly, then a majority of the H1B could escape this $1 lakh fee. And those clarifications we could expect on Monday evening. So most likely big US tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook or Nvidia employees won't be impacted. But I guess our IT services may not qualify under this exemption. That's why I said earlier it looks like this is directly imposed on India, particularly as a bargaining chip. We have already seen in the past how Trump suspended trade talks and imposed 50% tariff on Indian goods when India didn't agree on agriculture and Russian oil. Now, just yesterday, Indian government announced that Trade Minister Piyush Goyal is traveling to US on Monday, September 22nd for further trade negotiations following last week's trade talks in India. So I think this sudden huge fee looks more like a bargaining chip rather than a policy. Hence, in short, from Indian market perspective, clarification around this fee on H1B visa will drive the Indian IT company's stock price in the short term, and the trade talk progress could influence the overall market sentiment. However, in the long run, I guess since Indian IT companies already have bulk of their employees in US, there won't be immediate business impact. And on the bright side, for future deals, they might start quoting higher prices for the IT services. Then from the people side, many Indians living in the US may think twice before investing in the US property there, and for sure will likely cut down on expenses. Meanwhile, US tech companies might start to setting up their tech centers in India to avoid such future risk. Hence, selfishly speaking, that this could bring more money flow as remittances to India and less brain drain from here to US. One more thing, just now while making this video, I saw some news. This snippet is from the Politico website, one of the reputed news firm from US. They said that the White House has clarified this proclamation will apply only to new applicants. It is not applicable to existing visa holders or to the people who are already currently traveling. So in a way, this has calmed the things down. They also mentioned that it does not apply to the H1B visas for the already allotted lotteries in 2025. Instead, it will be applicable for the new lottery in February next year. So little bit positive and okay. Then macro wise, on Monday early morning, Chinese interest rate decision is due. Present rate is 3% and analysts expect the central bank to pause. But if there is a surprise cut like 10 or 25 basis points, then generally it is positive for Indian metal stocks, but it's a very remote possibility. Then during our market hours, nothing that I'm aware is scheduled to release that could influence the Indian market, and in the night US FOMC member speech is due, which could influence the global momentum. Coming to Tuesday 23rd September, Japan market will be closed for holiday. Then during our market hours at 10:30 am, India's manufacturing PMI projection data for September month will be released. For August month, data came as 59.3, which was the highest value in the last 17 years. Hence, during the release time, market took this as very positive. So this time, there is a potential again and it will be an influential macro. Alongside in the afternoon, Eurozone and UK manufacturing PMI is scheduled, and in the night, US manufacturing PMI data is due. So overall, Tuesday is mainly about manufacturing PMI data across the globe. Then on Wednesday early morning, Japan's manufacturing PMI data is due. And during our market hours, nothing major, but in the night for US, new home sales data for August month and crude oil inventories are scheduled. On Thursday, 25th September, during our market hours, ECB economic bulletin is scheduled to release in the afternoon. Then in the night, several key US macros are due, such as August month durable goods orders, existing home sales data, final US Q2 GDP growth rate, and the weekly jobs data. So Thursday night will be quite important for the global momentum. Finally, on Friday, 26th September, early morning, Japan's consumer inflation data is due. Then in the aftermarket hours, India's bi-weekly bank loan and deposit growth plus foreign exchange reserves data will be released. Whereas in the night, very important for US, August month PC inflation is due, but since this comes after our market close, its impact will only be seen on the following Monday. So just repeating the important things, September month India's manufacturing PMI data and US PMI data release on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, US GDP growth rate data are the important major macros expect to influence the Indian market this upcoming September 4th week. Here, though Friday's release, US PC inflation for August month is also very important, but because it comes after our market close, hence it will influence only on the following week. Then about IPO, 3 companies. First on Monday, Atlanta Electricals and Ganesh Consumer Products will open for subscription. Then on Thursday, Jin Kushal Industries will also be open for subscription. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investigation based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.